Good evening, pro wrestling fans from all over the world of all shapes and sizes. Welcome once again to another pro wrestling talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, got a lot to discuss in this video. Going to talk about a couple of things. Going to talk about Giulia. Going to talk about Natsupoi. Going to talk about the confirmed New Japan Cup bracket. That's right, it's been revealed. And the New Japan Cup is getting ready to start. It's right around the corner. Also going to go over the announced Season Pass DLC for the upcoming WWE 2K24 game. That's been revealed in its entirety. And I'm also going to talk about, also going to review TNA No Surrender 2024 to finish this video out. Excuse me. So yeah, got a good bit to talk about. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started off. I want to start off talking about Giulia. So there was an article, which I'll put the link of the article in this description. It's in regards to Giulia getting ready to leave Stardom, at least the details behind it. It says Giulia to leave the group, to leave Stardom in March. Rossi's new group and the possibility of entering the WWE. This was a pretty detailed article, but I'm gonna go through it. Now this is with Google Translate activated, so it might not be 100% accurate, but it's close enough. So just a FYI. But yeah, gonna go through this article. Looks like it was it's courtesy of Tokyo Sports. But it says, it has been revealed in an interview that Giulia, who's 30 years old, just turned 30, not too long ago, that Giulia of the women's professional wrestling group Stardom will leave the group at the end of March, which that's when her contract expires. The departure of a key player who has a track record of winning the World Championship, the highest level in the organization, and currently holds the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Championship, is sure to cause a big stir. After her departure, it is likely that Rossi Ogawa, 66 years old, will join a new organization that is planned to launch. And there is also a possibility that she will aim to join the world's largest organization, WWE, which has been reported in the U.S. media for some time. The departure of the troublemaker is likely to attract attention. It says, according to multiple sources, Giulia informed Bushiroad Fight, the group that runs Stardom, of her intention to leave the group at the end of last year. As a result of discussions, it appears that they have come to an agreement that she will leave the organization at the end of March when her contract expires. Giulia ran out of the Ice Ribbon Dormitory in October 2019 and made an electric appearance in the Stardom ring. After a huge uproar, she was transferred to Bushiroad and she rose to prominence in the newly formed Stardom. After winning the Cinderella tournament in March 2020, she was crowned Wonder of Stardom champion for the first time in July. In the same year, she won the Women's Pro Wrestling Award for the first time, and she suddenly rose to the top of the industry. In March 2021, she lost, and the loser gets her head shaved with Tam Nakano and had a shaved head, which became a big topic of conversation. Taking the Stardom map by storm with this weapon. In December of 2022, she was crowned the world title, the highest level in her group for the first time when she defeated Shuri. However, the loss of the title in April 2023 was a turning point. On Stardom match, she not only won the World and Wonder Singles Championships, but also won the Cinderella Tournament and the 5-Star Grand Prix. Of course, she won the Cinderella Tournament, which got her the shot at the Wonder Stardom Championship that she won. And she won the 5-Star Grand Prix to earn the opportunity and ended up winning the World of Stardom Championship, where she defeated Shuri. So she won the Cinderella Tournament and 5-Star Grand Prix, so there was no longer anything to aim for within the group. Therefore, she seems to have decided to leave the organization in order to see a world she has not yet seen. Coincidentally, in an interview at the end of last year, she meaningfully said about 2024, "I think it's okay to think completely about myself and act selfishly. I want to be a prominent figure." True to her words, in January of this year, she disbanded Donna Del Mundo. They have put an end to their 4-year history as a unit and have started their activities as individual players. What I'm concerned about is what happens after she retires. The most likely option is to join Mr. Ogawa, who was dismissed as Stardom's executive producer on February 4th. Giulia adores Mr. Ogawa, who led her to become a star, and after the Osaka tournament on February 4th, which was the last tournament of her tenure, Giulia posted on her ex, formerly Twitter, "I met the Stardom created by Rossi Ogawa. Well, I'm so happy. Happy 13th anniversary Stardom," she posted. Mr. Ogawa has admitted that he is exploring the establishment of a new organization, and there is a possibility that he will participate in the launch, aka starting a new promotion. Says, on the other hand, one thing he cannot give up is transferring to an overseas organization. Last year, Giulia promoted expansion overseas and won the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. She has successfully defended her title 9 times, including 3 in the United States, and has spread her name overseas. Multiple U.S. media outlets have reported that WWE is interested in her. At her press conference last November, CEO, the Chief Content Officer, Triple H, was asked a question about Giulia. Regarding transferring to an overseas organization, Giulia has said, "I still have things left to do in Japan. Nothing is certain about my future. However, if it's for a purpose, I wouldn't mind going overseas. I sometimes think that going there might be one way to go," she said. Will she transfer to a new organization or make a full-fledged move to the American map? With 1 month left, keep an eye on the trends of the troublemaker, including the fate of the Strong Women's Championship. And that wraps up the article written by Risu Kimoto. So, that just further confirms that, yes, Giulia's contract is up at the end of March. And you know, what's interesting about this is, of course, we know she recently successfully defended her Strong Women's title against Natsuko Tora. Now, end of March. So, there's only 2 things that I could think of that could happen. Number 1, I could see her putting the title on the line March 20th, which is the Cinderella Tournament Finals show. I could see her defending the title and dropping the title then. To who remains to be seen. Or secondly, she finishes out the rest of her Stardom contract as champion. She leaves and the belt just becomes vacant. Now, I know there was a lot of talks about the idea of Mercedes Moné versus Giulia, and Mercedes being the one to dethrone Giulia, I don't think that's going to happen. I really doubt that's going to happen. So we'll just have to wait and see what they decide to do in March. Because, I mean, after all, the next big events for Stardom is the Cinderella tournament, which the tournament starts March 9th, and the finals is on March 20th. So pretty much throughout the month of March will be a big focus on the Cinderella tournament. So we know that Giulia is not in the Cinderella tournament, so that's what makes me believe that I could see her defending her title maybe in the finals, you know, the final show for the Cinderella tournament. Because, you know, they sometimes do have title matches on their finals show. So, you know, just a thought, but I could see that being where Giulia drops the title. That is, if she doesn't end up vacating it at the end of the month. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they end up trying to build for her to finish out Stardom. Because, like I said, this weekend is when the beginning of March starts. So we'll see what happens. But speaking of March 9th, there is some good news as Natsupoi returns to the ring March 9th at the Yokohama Budokan, which is actually the same date as the start of the Cinderella tournament. So even though Natsupoi is also not in the Cinderella tournament, it's good to know that she'll be making her in-ring return at the opening of the Cinderella tournament on March 9th. So, hey, it's good to hear that she'll be returning to the ring. And, you know, it's good to know and see that a lot of these ladies are returning from injury. I know recently Azumi was out due to poor health, but I do believe she will be, she'll probably most likely be good to go for the Cinderella tournament. They might as well go ahead and let her rest up until she gets to the Cinderella tournament. I think they should play it safe and do that, me personally. So maybe they will. I don't know. But anyway, looking forward to Natsupoi's return and her joining her Cosmic Angels stablemates once again. So good news, really good news. Good to see a lot of these ladies returning from injury and keeping on. So let's see. Now we're going to switch gears to WWE 2K24. I'm going to go over the list of DLC as part of the 2K24 Season Pass. And I have to say, it's a pretty dang on good lineup. So there are 5 DLC packs with this Season Pass. And like I said, it looks pretty solid. So let's go over the list. Okay, now just a reminder, you can get the Season Pass separately, or if you get the Deluxe Edition or the 40 Years of WrestleMania Edition, the Season Pass will come with it. Alright. So the first DLC pack is the ECW Punk pack, which is scheduled to release May 15th. Now, if I remember correctly, WWE 2K24, I believe, releases March 9th, if I remember correctly. But it's right around the beginning of March. As a matter of fact, I believe it's next week. Sometime next week. Anyway, so DLC pack number 1 is the ECW Punk pack. And it has CM Punk, both Dudley Boys, that's Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley, so both of them. Sandman, the late great Terry Funk, and it's going to have My Faction content made up of ECW Paul Heyman manager card and some other superstar cards. So that's the DLC Pack 1. Okay, DLC Pack 2 is the Post Malone and Friends Pack, which will release June 26. And in that pack, you get Post Malone, Sensational Sherry, the Headbangers, which is Mosh and Thrasher, so you get a tag team there. You get the Honky Tonk Man, and you get manager Mouth of South, Jimmy Hart. And you get superstar cards as part of My Faction content. So, wow, that's pretty neat. The Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher. That's pretty cool. I don't think they've been in a game since WWE Attitude, if I remember correctly. Man, or WWF Attitude. Man, it's been forever. But yeah, good to see the Headbangers back in a WWE game. So hey, that's actually kind of cool. Okay, you got the DLC pack number 3, which is the Pat McAfee pack. That releases July 24th. Doesn't say a whole lot with this one, but you get Pat McAfee. You get playable co-hosts, and it just says stay tuned for more info. For My Faction content, you get co-host manager cards. Stay tuned for more info. And superstar cards. So not a lot of information there, but it'll be interesting to see what else is included in that pack. But hey, Pat McAfee, playable character. Pretty neat. Alright, DLC pack number 4 is called the Global Superstars Pack, which this releases September 20th. And this is actually a pretty good one. Check this out. You get Jade Cargill. You get Nia Jax. You get Michelle McCool. I like. You get Carlito. I like. You get Kairi Sane. So, very happy with that. Lyra Valkyria. And Dragon Lee. And then, of course, you get more superstar cards from the My Faction content. So, I'm actually digging that DLC pack, especially for Michelle McCool, Carlito, Kairi Sane, Lyra Valkyria, Dragon Lee. So, at least I can make my 3 Empresses faction with Kairi, Io, and Asuka, since Io and Asuka are part of the main released roster for this game. And then finally we got DLC pack number 5, which is the WCW pack. And this one releases November 13th. And there's a particular superstar in this pack that I'm very excited about. So it includes Diamond Dallas Page, the Iron Sheik, Mr. Perfect, Lex Luger, and that's right, the Great Muta. The Great Muta in a WWE 2K game, which of course, remember, Great Muta was inducted into last year's Hall of Fame. So, was really pumped about that. But yeah, the Great Muta will be DLC pack number 5. So I gotta wait till November. But hey, that's all good. I think it's cool that he's in it. And of course, more superstar cards from the My Faction content. So, good stuff there. But yeah, I'm just... You know what? This is a pretty dang on good lineup of DLC. You know, there's some notable names on here I'm excited about. I mean, you know, the Headbangers. Like I said, Headbangers haven't been in a video game in a long time, so I actually think that's pretty cool. Sensational Sherry, that's really cool. The Dudley Boys, that's really cool. Terry Funk, Sandman, you know, Michelle McCool, Carlito, Kairi Sane, Lyra Valkyria, Dragon Lee, The Great Muta, Mr. Perfect. I mean, you know, I'm actually digging this pack of DLC with this season pass. You know, I like it. I actually like it. So yeah. And I'll also put the link in the description to this list as well. But yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Now let's switch gears to New Japan Pro Wrestling as the competitors and the bracket for the New Japan Cup 2024 have been revealed. So we're going to go ahead and go through the names, and I'll also put a link in the description to the article with the reveal as well as what the bracket looks like. So definitely keep an eye out for that so you can follow along. Okay. All right. We're going to start from the bottom, and then I'll show the bracket. So, the competitors. We got Zack Sabre Jr., which this will be his 7th entry, 7th consecutive. And he's won the New Japan Cup twice. Once in 2018 and once in 2022. So he's a 2-time New Japan Cup winner. So he has a chance to win his 3rd one, and honestly, I feel like he's going to be a favorite to win. Okay. Ren Narita. Ren Narita is in it. He'll be making his 2nd entry, 2nd consecutive appearance. We got Taichi making his 7th entry and 7th consecutive appearance. Okay, Mikey Nichols from TMDK making his 2nd entry, his 1st one in 5 years. We got El Phantasmo making his 3rd entry, 3rd consecutive. We got Jeff Cobb making his 4th entry, 4th consecutive. We got Yota Tsuji making his 3rd entry, his 1st in 3 years. We got Gabe Kidd making his 3rd entry, his 1st in 2 years. Making his debut is United Empire's Caleb Newman. That's right, debuting in his 1st New Japan Cup. So congrats to him. Big opportunity for him. Yuya Uemura will be making his 2nd entry, his 1st in 4 years. Shingo Takagi making his 5th entry, his 5th consecutive. Evil will be making his 8th entry, his 6th consecutive. And don't forget, he's actually won a New Japan Cup. He won it back in 2020. Boltin Oleg is another one that's making his New Japan Cup debut. So this is his 1st one. Kudos to him. Hikuleo making his 2nd entry, 1st in 5 years. Hiroki Goto. Hiroki Goto, this is his 16th entry. 16th entry, 6th consecutive New Japan Cup. And don't forget, he's won this tournament 3 times. In 2009, 2010, and 2012. So, a very well notable name when it comes to the New Japan Cup. Chase Owens is in it, making his 5th entry and his 4th consecutive. You got Tomohiro Ishii making his 16th entry, his 9th consecutive. Great Khan making his 4th entry, his 4th consecutive. Tangaloa making his 3rd entry, his 1st in 2 years. David Finlay making his 3rd entry, his 2nd consecutive. And check it out, TJP makes his debut in the New Japan Cup. So this is his first New Japan Cup, so kudos to TJP. The Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi, making his 14th entry, his 5th consecutive. You got Toru Yano making his 19th entry, his 19th consecutive. Wow. Scapegoat Jack Perry making his debut entry in the New Japan Cup this year. Kudos to him. This is pretty big. Shota Umino making his 3rd entry, 2nd consecutive. Sanada making his 7th entry, his 7th consecutive. And remember, he won the New Japan Cup last year in 2023. You got Kenta. Kenta, 3rd consecutive, or excuse me, 3rd entry, 2nd consecutive. And don't forget, he actually won the 2020 New Japan Cup in USA. That's right. Remember, they did a New Japan Cup in the US, which he won. Yoshihashi making his 11th entry, his 10th consecutive. And that's it. That's it. That's all 28 competitors for the New Japan Cup. And it's quite a list. That is quite a list. Now, let me pull up the official bracket. Alrighty. Check this out, y'all. Here's the bracket. So, looking at this, so they're actually going to start the New Japan Cup tournament matches on March 6th, which is actually the anniversary show. Oh, so that's pretty neat. Fair enough, fair enough. So, let's look at these matchups. So, let's see. We got Yoshihashi versus Kenta. And the winner of that faces Sanada. I could see Kenta winning that matchup. Shota Umino versus Jack Perry. See, now that's rough. That's going to be such a bummer if Jack Perry wins that. I mean, I know it's his debut, but Shota Umino's been kind of like on the short end of the stick lately. And when it comes to big profile matches, Shota Umino has been on the losing end. So it would really be a bummer for him to lose in the first round of Jack Perry, despite it being his debut. You know what I mean? So I hope Shota Umino wins. I really do. I really do. Let's see. Toru Yano versus Yujiro Takahashi. Well, I expect there to be shenanigans from Yujiro with him being part of House of Torture. But I think Toru Yano's going to pull it off. I think he's going to pull it off. TJP versus David Finlay. Ooh. Oh, man. Something tells me David Finlay makes the most sense. I mean, he just lost the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. So, I mean, they got to do something to get him back on the rise, especially with him being the Bullet Club War Dogs leader. So I'll be rooting for TJP, but I think it makes sense for David Finlay to win. Tangaloa versus Great O'Khan. Honestly, that could go either way. But I'm going to say Great O'Khan. But I think that could go either way. Tomohiro Ishii versus Chase Owens. Definitely going with Ishii. And, ooh, that ought to be really interesting because the winner of that faces Hiroki Goto. Ooh. Oof. And I've seen Ishii versus Goto before. That, whew. Those are hard-hitting matches. Let's see. You got Hikuleo versus Boltin Oleg, which I definitely think Hikuleo's winning that. And the winner of that goes on to face Evil. Let's see. Shingo Takagi and Yuya Uemura. I'm picking Shingo. Caleb Newman versus Gabe Kidd. Ooh, that actually might be more evenly matched than we think. But I think Gabe Kidd ends up winning it. I think it just makes the most sense. Although I would be really happy if Caleb Newman won. That would be really cool. Yota Tsuji versus Jeff Cobb. Ooh, now that could go either way. I'm actually very interested in that matchup. That could really go either way. Perhaps Jeff Cobb takes it, but that could really go either way. El Phantasmo versus Mikey Nichols. Gonna have to go with El Phantasmo. Taichi versus Ren Narita. Oh, man. I hope Taichi wins, but I expect Ren Narita to bring forth the shenanigans. But the winner of that match will face Zack Sabre Jr. Interesting. So Sonata, Hiroki Goto, Zack Sabre Jr., and Evil get first round buys. Yep, they get first round buys. But to be honest with you, I think Zack Sabre Jr., I believe, is the favorite to win this tournament. I mean, I know there's a lot of build-up and a lot towards the idea of him being the next IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. But to be honest, I can't really see anybody else on this list winning this. Now, if you want to really surprise folks and make a ginormous shocker slash surprise slash Cinderella story, have Shota Umino win this New Japan Cup. But I don't think that's going to happen. But I think it would be nice for him to be the Cinderella story candidate to win this. But like I said, I think Zack Sabre Jr.'s taking it. I really do. But New Japan Cup begins March 6th at the anniversary show. And then it will conclude with the finals on March 20th. Huh, check that out. The Cinderella Tournament finals and the New Japan Cup finals both take place on March 20th. Oh, coincidence? I think not. But yeah, definitely looking forward to this year's New Japan Cup. More tournament action during this tournament season within pro wrestling. So it's a lot to look forward to. But yeah, I am going ahead and picking Zack Sabre Jr. to win the 2024 New Japan Cup. And the winner will not only get the trophy, but will go on to challenge for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at Sakura Genesis, which Sakura Genesis Let me pull up the date for it. Sakura Genesis is April 6th at the Ryogoku Sumo Hall. And we already know that Nick Nemeth will defend the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship against Hiroshi Tanahashi at Sakura Genesis. So that's been set as well. So looking forward to that. But yeah, we got to get through this tournament first. It's a lot to look forward to. But should be good. Should be really good. Anyway, before we wrap up this video with a review of TNA No Surrender, here's a quick word on the sponsor of this video, Game Beauty. Check them out. As you continue to enjoy content here at Blitzball Champ Gaming, be sure you take a moment to check out Game Beauty. Beauty inspired by gaming. Game Beauty brings to you video game related makeup and cosmetic products. You have products such as eyeshadow palettes, elemental pearl highlighters, eyeshadow brushes, liquid eyeliner pens by Akideris, and even non-makeup products like graphic tees. They even have special collaboration makeup kits, such as this Persona 5 Heat Wave Brush Single, Metaverse Bundle, and even a Phantom Thieves limited edition makeup collection. Also remember that Game Beauty provides international shipping of $60 or more. And if you use the promo code BlitzballChamp, all in caps, you can get 10% off of your order. So be sure to use that to your advantage. Now, back to your regularly scheduled video. Enjoy, and thank you. Alrighty. TNA No Surrender 2024. This year's took place at the Alario Center in Westwego, Louisiana. And I have to say, this was a pretty good show, but I do have some mixed feelings about how certain things went down. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with our first match. So we had the countdown to No Surrender, and we had 2 matches in the pre-show. So 2 matches in the pre-show. Let's go ahead and get those queued up. Here we go. All right, let's get started. Okay, first up, in the pre-show, we had a tag team match. We had the team of Speedball Mountain, which is made up of Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent 7, taking on the Rascalz, made up of Zachary, Wentz, and Trey Miguel. Great opening match for the pre-show. Definitely like both of these teams. And, you know, I've met Speedball, Mike Bailey, really cool guy. Definitely like the team that, you know, this team of him and Trent 7, which, you know, lately, Speedball, he's been having good chemistry with anybody that he teams up with. But, you know, going up against the Rascalz, I mean, the Rascalz, they go way back. You know, they're former tag team champions. And, you know, they're really solid in the ring. And both of these teams went back and forth. Really looked great. Could have gone either way. But there was some shenanigans as Steve Macklin interfered in this match, gave a chop block to Speedball, and then Zachary Wentz took advantage of that by submitting Speedball with a leg grapevine to the leg that got chop blocked, and he pretty much tapped out instantly. So the Rascalz with a big victory there. And of course there was a segment backstage where, you know, Speedball Mountain tried to confront the Rascalz as well as Steve Macklin. So, you know, that rivalry is heating up more and more. But Rascalz with the opening victory. All right. Let's go to our next match. It's part of the countdown. We had yet another tag team match. We had the System with Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. And they took on the Intergalactic Jet Setters of Kushida and the Jet, Kevin Knight. Another great tag team match. Solid performance from all four competitors. I know there was a little bit of shenanigans from Alyssa Edwards in this match. But for the most part, this was a good back and forth match. Definitely like Eddie Edwards, Kushida, and Kevin Knight. I've met the three of them. But the System got the best of the Intergalactic Jet Setters, and just like I had a bad feeling about, the Jet, Kevin Knight, took the fall as a roster cut Boston Knee Party combo put away the Jet for the 1-2-3. Brian Myers made the pin, and the System walk away with the victory. So rough start for Time Machine and Kevin Knight. I mean, they're all kind of in a group together, but the System starting off strong at No Surrender. Okay, and now we move into the main card. All right, check this match out. All right, we had ourselves a singles match. We had Eric Young versus Frankie Kazarian, where the winner of this match will get a shot for the TNA World Championship at Sacrifice. Now, it's obvious that Frankie Kazarian has turned, has become heel, and we definitely saw that play out in this match. Two wrestlers that know each other very well went at it, definitely back and forth, and it looked like Kaz had things in control, but too busy jaw-jacking with the ref, lost concentration, and Eric Young took advantage. He now, for the record, Kaz did hit the fade to black on Eric Young, but was able to kick out with the 3 count. Bickering, yelling at the ref was enough of a distraction and enough of an opening where Eric Young took advantage, rolled up Kazarian in a crucifix, pinned him for the 1-2-3. Eric Young wins, and he punches his ticket for a TNA World title shot at Sacrifice. Kazarian got mad, ended up beating down the referee. Beat down the referee, kicked him in the head, and just left him there. Other referees had to come down to the ring to get him to back off and all that jazz. But, yeah, that ref was done. That ref was done. So Frankie Kazarian being the sore loser, but Eric Young with the victory. Okay. Let's go to our next match. And we're about to have our first title match of the card. Alrighty. We had the TNA World Tag Team Championships on the line in match 3 of the best of 3 series between these two teams. You had the champs, the ABC, which is Ace Austin, Chris Bay, taking on the Grizzled Young Vets of Zack, Gibson, and James Drake. Now, of course, they're both tied at 1 apiece, and this was the deciding match. Titles on the line. And this was an incredible match between both of these teams. And I'm not really that much of a fan of the Grizzled Young Vets. And this was a great tag team match. Both teams look really solid. And, you know, these two have gone back and forth lately. I mean, especially in this best of 3 series. And this has been a pretty enjoyable rivalry. It's been an enjoyable rivalry. And, you know, Grizzled Young Vets not that long ago competed at DPW. So, got to see them quite a bit. But yeah, awesome match. Really could have gone either way. Really could have gone either way. But the ABC hung in there like the champs that they are. They were able to get the opening that they needed. Ace Austin, Chris Bay hit the 1-2 sweep on James Drake. Of course, the 1 being the art of finesse, the 2 being the fold, the sweep being the cover. Chris Bay makes the cover on James Drake, 1, 2, 3. The ABC, still your TNA World Tag Team Champions. And their second reign, mind you. But ABC stays on top. And you know what? Can't wait to see the next tag team that challenges them. You know, that they build up a new challenger. But ABC have been an excellent tag team and even better tag champs. So, congrats to them on a successful defense. All right, next up, next match, had a singles match. PCO versus Khan, a battle between these two big behemoths. To be honest, it was lackluster. I mean, there were some powerful spots here and there. PCO flying all over the place. But match didn't last long. Ended in a DQ. PCO won by DQ after Khan attacked him with a chair. They continued to battle outside the ring and up the ramp. Got to the point where Khan tied up PCO's arm to one of the metal pillars, grabbed the chair, put it in between his neck, did the neck snap, and just left him there. And that's it. That's it. It was pretty lackluster. Like I said, match did not last long at all. Like, it might have lasted, I'm not so sure it even lasted 6 minutes. Yeah. Shoot. As a matter of fact, it probably lasted less than 5. To be honest with you. Like, that match did not last long. Like, as a matter of fact, looking at, oh, the match only lasted 3 minutes, 49 seconds. Yeah. So, not even 5 minutes. Not even 4 minutes. So, yeah. Pretty trashy match, if you ask me. But, hey, bathroom break match, I guess. A really quick bathroom break match. Anyway, let's move on to our next match. All right. Ready for another title match? Here you go. We had the run back. The run back for the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. As the champions, Decay of Rosemary and Havok defending against MK Ultra, made up of Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly. Solid match between both these teams. Wish it would have lasted longer. I don't even think it lasted 10 minutes. I wish it would have lasted a little longer, especially with the history that these two teams have, especially from when Decay dethroned them in the first place, which was at Hard to Kill. So yeah, I wish that this match was longer, but went back and forth. It was pretty fierce between both teams. But when it all came down to it, Masha Slamovich was able to take care of business, hit Rosemary with a snowplow, pinned her for the 1-2-3, and MK Ultra are once again your Knockouts World's Tag Team Champions. Their second reign. And they pretty much ended up turning heel, beat down Decay after the match. Danny Luna and Jody Threat came out for the save. So yeah, MK Ultra are heels. But now in their second tag title reign. So good for them. I like MK Ultra, so I'm cool with it. I did not think they would win the tag titles back, but hey, I'm cool with it. Mainly because I like the team. All right, let's go to our next match. And to be honest, this match was actually one of my favorites of the card. This was one of my favorites. We had an incredible singles match between the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and Simon Gotch. Now, I gotta keep it real with y'all. I haven't seen a lot of singles matches with Simon Gotch, but I have to say, this match here really showed me a lot of things. And that Simon Gotch can really hang as a singles competitor. You know, I'm so used to seeing him, you know, back when he teamed up with Aiden English, now Matthew Renault of the Vaudevillains. You know, I'm so used to seeing them team up, and you know, which they were a great tag team back in the WWE. But really seeing Simon Gotch more of a singles wrestler, I was actually very impressed with this match. I felt like it was a great technical struggle between both competitors. We saw some good chain wrestling, some submission attempts. I mean, it was really hard hitting and aggressive. I was very impressed with Simon Gotch. And like I said, this is coming from somebody that hasn't really seen many singles matches with Simon Gotch. So I was impressed. I was very impressed. And of course, him in the ring with the Walking Weapon, I mean, that's a big deal. But this was a phenomenal match. Definitely enjoyed it from start to finish. But Josh Alexander was able to put away Simon Gotch with a C4 spike, pinned him for the 1-2-3. But great match. Really, really great match between these two. And like I said, kudos to Simon Gotch. Dude did a fantastic job. And I would love to see him in more singles matches. I think the dude is good. I think he's good. But yeah, that was my favorite match of the card. Definitely my favorite match. Okay, next up, another title match. Now this is where things really start to bother me. So, okay, This was for the TNA World Championship, the main top title of the promotion. And this was decided in a no surrender rules match, where the only way you can win is your opponent has to throw in the towel. Or the opponent's pretty much corner man, or, you know, has to throw in the towel. Moose defending the title against Alex Shelley. Okay. Let me just say this. I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. The X Division Championship match was the main event of this show. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand it's been forever since the X Division match, since an X Division Championship match was the main event. I understand that. I get that. But why did y'all have the TNA World Championship match, which was specifically a no surrender rules match? Why was this not your main event, being that the name of the show is No Surrender? This made no sense whatsoever. Like I said, no offense to the X Division Championship match, which was a good match. I'll get to that in a little bit. But you had this special premium pay-per-view event, which only TNA Plus subscribers could watch, called No Surrender. You literally had the match for the top championship in the company, a no surrender rules stipulation, and it wasn't your main event. That made no sense whatsoever. Period. Absolutely made no sense. Somebody's gonna have to explain that to me, because that makes no sense. It was a no surrenders rules match. It was for your top title on a pay-per-view called No Surrender, and it wasn't your main event. Makes no sense. So had to get that out of the way, because that really bothered me about this show. But anyway, this match was very brutal. Definitely back and forth. Of course, you had the members of the system in Moose's corner. You had the Intergalactic Jet Setters in Shelley's corner. And both Shelley and Moose just trying to dismantle each other, just tear each other apart. Weapons were being used. I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, Shelley trying to break the fingers of Moose, and just Moose trying to bust up the knee and leg of Shelley. Just doing whatever they could to get the other to throw in the towel. Which, I mean, that's the only way you can win. And it was just back and forth, back and forth. And it came down to the wire. But after multiple spears from Moose, including a spear with a set of chains wrapped around Moose's body, Kushida just couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take it anymore. Ended up throwing in the towel before Moose hit one last spear. And therefore, Moose, still your TNA World Champion. And Shelley was pretty pissed about it. He was really pissed at Kushida for throwing in the towel, which, honestly, this could spark something. This could spark a storyline between Shelley and Kushida. And it would suck to see that kind of break them apart. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, Kushida, Shelley, and Sabin, that's Time Machine. So, would hate to see that happen, but I got a feeling that's what's going to happen. There's going to be some sort of storyline now between Shelley and Kushida. I have that feeling. But overall, great match. It was just really dumb that this wasn't the main event. All right. Let's go on to our next match. Time for the ladies. We had the Knockouts World Championship on the line. As the champion, Jordynne Grace defends against Giselle Shaw. Now, of course, remember, Giselle Shaw earned this opportunity winning a Knockouts Ultimate X match. And you know what? She actually did really good in this match. She looked very strong in this match. And definitely gave Jordynne Grace a run for her money. Not to mention hitting her with a very nice Spanish fly off of the ring apron. I mean, that was crisp and smooth. So, kudos to Giselle Shaw. She looked really good in this match, just with her ring work and really taking it to Jordynne Grace. I mean, she legit had a great chance at winning. A great chance. But Thick Mama Pump would not be denied in the end. Was able to outgain and outmuscle Giselle Shaw and eventually put her away with a juggernaut driver for the 1, 2, 3. Jordynne Grace, still your TNA Knockouts World Champion. But got to give a solid round of applause to Giselle Shaw for her effort. I mean, just incredible effort. And who knows, Giselle Shaw, I think, will become TNA Knockouts World Champion at some point. Might not have been this past Friday, but give her time. I think she's eventually going to do it. I think she's eventually going to do it. So keep an eye out for Giselle Shaw. I could see her as champion at some point. This might be the year. This might be the year. Just not right now. Maybe later. But this might be the year. And then what ended up being the main event of No Surrender. Spotlight on the X Division. As the X Division Championship was on the line. Mr. 10-time X Division Champion himself, Chris Sabin, defends the title against Mustafa Ali, making his debut in TNA. Solid match between these great high flyers. My only problem is, don't get me wrong, I like Mustafa Ali. I do. I enjoyed watching him, especially back in WWE. But I really have a problem where a lot of these folks come into a promotion, granted a title shot, they don't earn it, and they come in and just win it. You know, it's like, it's annoying. It's annoying. That happened to Matt Riddle and Nick Nemeth in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it happened here on No Surrender with Mustafa Ali, as he was able to put away Chris Sabin, which a very nice avalanche sunset flip before hitting him with a 450 splash, pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. Mustafa Ali is your new X Division champion. I get annoyed when I see a lot of these wrestlers like just get title shots. They don't earn them, and they just win. You know, it's really annoying. It's like, come on now, whatever happened to earning a title shot? Whatever happened to earning some wins, and then you get a title shot? I want to see that more. I really do. Because too many other folks are just passed by for, I guess, a bigger name or whatnot, but they don't earn the title shot. So that's just my complaint with it. But overall, pretty decent event. Had some good matches for the most part. Like I said, the only real bad match was PCO versus Khan because it wasn't even 4 minutes long. And we had two title changes. So yeah, not bad. Not bad. Let's see what TNA Wrestling has coming up. So we know that the next big event is Sacrifice, which is March 8th. So TNA Sacrifice, March 8th. And then after that, we got TNA Rebellion. That's April 20th. Yeah, those are pretty much the next two events. Sacrifice in March, Rebellion in April. So, yeah, that's what we have to look forward to. But yeah, should be good. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. Don't forget to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty. And don't forget to check out the other links of info that I posted based on the topics and discussion. But yeah, let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Let me know how y'all are feeling about Giulia. What do you think's going to happen leading up to the expiration of her contract end of March? Let me know how would you settle the whole NJPW Strong Women's Championship. Let me know how y'all feel about the Season Pass DLC for WWE 2K24. Are you excited that Natsupoi is returning to the ring? Let me hear from you. What do you think about the New Japan Cup bracket? Who is your pick to win this year's New Japan Cup? And let me know your thoughts on TNA No Surrender. Did you like the show? What did you think of the card? Were your predictions correct? Let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed tonight's video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all in the next video. Laters.